Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our YouTube channel which focuses on environmental sustainability. For today's video, our discussion will be based on environmental laws, policies and strategies relating to plastic pollution or municipal solid waste in Papua New Guinea. Before we begin, let us recap on our previous video. Previously, we talked about plastic pollution in Meding Town, Meding Province of Papua New Guinea. We further elaborated on its relationship with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, more specifically, Goal number 12. Goal 12 concentrated on responsible consumption and production, whereby one of the indicators was municipal solid waste. We also concluded that Goal 12 was not yet fully achieved in Papua New Guinea. Moving on to today's content. Firstly, we will briefly define law, policy, and strategy. Then, we will move on to the list of law, policy, and strategy in relation to plastic pollution. And finally, we will give an in-depth discussion on whether or not they have been fully implemented and accomplished. According to the Concise Oxford Dictionary, Thompson 1995, it states that a law is a body of rules and standards issued by a government to be applied by courts and similar authorities. It is also understood that laws are rules that concern behaviors and the appropriate consequence thereof. Laws are usually enforced and are punishable if broken. What is a policy? A policy is a principle of behavior or conduct thought to be desirable or necessarily, especially as formally expressed by a government or other authoritative bodies. A strategy is a plan of action intended to accomplish a specific goal. The environmental law, policy, and strategy that we will look at today are 1. The Environment Act 2000, 2. The Plastic Bag Ban Policy, and lastly, the Bank South Pacific Go Green campaign, which is a nationwide cleanathon at all BSP branches. In the year 2000, this act was passed and eventually became an effective legislation in 2004, according to Mowbray and Duguman 2009. Mowbray and Duguman 2009 further explained that the Environment Act was an affiliation of the already existing environmental planning, environmental contaminants, and water resources. Furthermore, the Act was established to give effect to the national goals and directive principles, more specifically, those that have to do with protection of the environment, the impacts of the environment, and environment harm and its management. Quite frankly, plastic pollution is indeed a concern to the national goals and directive principles because it has the capacity to destroy the environment. It not only pollutes the land and sea, but is capable of polluting the air through burning of waste. Hence, plastic pollution is a direct violation of the Environment Act 2000. Papua New Guinea has been heavily reliant on the Act since its implementation in 2000 to enforce other policies and strategies. This is due to the fact that the country does not have any other official law that is able to address plastic pollution or mismanagement of municipal solid waste. As the Act itself, there have been reports of poor compliance and monitoring. To support this statement is an article written by Wangi 2013 published via the Dev Policy blog, which addresses waste management issues in Port Moresby and Lae. Wangi 2013 affirms that the national government does not have a single strategy, regulation, or law to manage waste. Instead, the country uses the 1973 Public Health Act and the Environment Act 2000. The government of Papua New Guinea first tabled the idea to ban all use and importation of single-use plastic bags in the year 2014. However, Due to lack in finances, it was set to take effect on January 31st, 2020, as cited by Yafoy 2019. According to the Post-Courier article by Yafoy 2019, the former Minister for Environment and Conservation and Climate Change, Geoffrey Kama, announced that failure to comply with the plastic ban would mean a breach of the Environment Act 2000. This is a classic example of how the Act is being relied upon to implement other policies. Plastic bags are a major contributing factor to plastic pollution because after use, they are thrown away as garbage. There are 4 methods of dealing with garbage. 1 is by dumping it, 2 is by reducing the volume of material being used in the initial stage, 3 is by converting it, and lastly is by burning it, as cited in COSAC 1991. When plastic is banned, it reduces the volume or the amount of plastic that circulates within the society. This policy is a step towards eradicating plastic waste in public spaces, on our beaches, and in our seas. Fast forward to 2022, and many shoppers carry their own grocery bags or have their groceries packed in available boxes, as both the individual and business houses fear being charged a fine. Hence, one can deduce that the plastic ban has been successful to some extent after its implementation. Take DY Mart for example. They only provide paper bags and green environmentally friendly bags. Despite this plastic bag ban policy not being adhered to in a few places, it is more successful than the Environment Act. The BSP Go Green campaign is not a government initiative or strategy. It is a strategy taken by the Bank of South Pacific towards a greener and healthier future. The BSP Go Green campaign is mainly targeted at school children. The organization seeks to educate young children on the importance of respecting, caring, and cleaning the environment. Activities conducted through the campaign include the Go Green annual cleanups, or the cleanathon that take place in schools in partnership with the BSP branches countrywide, and the Trash to Treasure festivals in partnership with the Nature Park in Port Moresby, whereby sculptures were created using plastics. The theme is centered around rethink, reuse, and recycle. This is a small but impactful effort by BSP, and it can be labeled as a strategy because it is a plan of action against plastic pollution or municipal solid waste. Municipal solid waste is an issue all throughout the country and globally. In Papua New Guinea, plastic waste can be seen littered in public spaces. In Port Moresby alone, approximately 45% of waste is plastic and metal, as cited in Nichols 2004. Plastic pollution is addressed by the Environment Act 2000, the plastic bag ban, and the BSP Go Green campaign. All these counterattacks for plastic pollution are working together to combat the issue. Currently, there is not one official law, strategy, or policy in place to address waste management. The plastic ban and Go Green campaign are enforced under the Environment Act 2000. It is recommended that the government create separate laws, policies, and strategies to combat plastic pollution. If the government decides to ban anything in the future, black and white documents must be prepared and available for all, unlike the plastic ban that relied on the Environment Act 2000, which was outdated, and it was also enforced without a proper platform. Thank you for watching. Please like our video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell to stay in tune for our next video.